love and light, healing, love and light, love and light. So we'll continue on at page 379, Canto for the Quest, from Book 4, titled The Book of Birth and Quest. Okay. Thank y'all for joining me. At first her path ran through peopled tracks, admitted to the lion eye of states and theaters of the loud active man, her carven chariot with its fretted wheels tread through clamorous marts and sentinel towers, past figured gates and high dream-sculptured fronts, and gardens hung in the sapphire of skies, pillared assembly halls with armored guards, small fanes where one calm image watched man's life, and temples hewn as if by exiled gods, too intimate their lost eternity, often from gilded dusk to argent dawn, where jewel-lamped flickered on frescoed walls, and the stone lattice stared at moonlit bows. Half conscious of the tardy listening night, dimly she glided between banks of sleep, at rest in the slumbering palaces of kings. Hamlet and village saw the fate wane pass, homes of a life bent on the soil it plows, for sustenance of its short and passing days, that transient keep their old repeated course, unchanging in the circle of a sky, which alters not above our mortal toil. Away from this thinking creature's burdened hours, to free and griefless space now she turned, not yet perturbed by human joys and fears. Here was the childhood of primeval earth. Here, timeless musings large and glad and still, men had forborne as yet to fill with cares, imperial acres of the eternal sower, and wind-stirred grasslands winking in the sun, or mid-green musings of wood and rough-browed hills, in the grove's murmurous bee air humming wild, or past the long-lapsing voice of silver floods, like a swift hope journeying among its dreams, hastened the chariot of the golden bride, out of the world's immense unhuman past. Tracked memories of ageless remnants came, domains of light enfielfed to antique calm, listened to the unaccustomed sound of hooves and large immune entangled silences, absorbed her into emerald secrecy and slow hushed wizard nets of fiery bloom, environed with their colored snare her wheels, the strong importunate feet of time fell soft. Along these lonely ways his titan pace forgotten, and his stark and ruinous rounds, the inner ear that listens to solitude, leaning self-wrapped undoubtedly could bear, the rhythm of the intenser wordless thought that gathers in the silence behind life, and the low, sweet, inarticulate voice of earth in the great passion of her sun-kissed trance, ascending with its yearning undertone, afar from the brute noise of clamorous needs. The quiet, all-seeking mind could feel, at rest from its blind outwardness of will, the unwearied clasp of her mute, patient love, and known for a soul, the mother of our forms, the spirit stumbling in the fields of sense, this creature bruised in the mortar of days, could find in her broad spaces of release. Not yet was a world all occupied by care. The bosom of our mother kept for us still her austere regions and her musing depths, her impersonal reaches lonely and inspired, and the mightiness of her rapture haunts. Muse-lipped she nursed her symbol mysteries and guarded for her pure-eyed sacraments. The valley clefts between her breast of joy, her mountain altars for the fires of dawn, and nuptial beaches where the ocean couched, and the huge chanting of her prophet woods. Fields had she of her solitary mirth, plains hushed and happy in the embrace of light, alone with the cry of birds and hue of flowers, and wilderness of wonder lit by her moons. And gray sear evenings kindling with the stars, and dim movement in the night's infinitude, August exulting in her Maker's eye, she felt her nearness to him in in earth's breast, conversed still with the light behind the veil, still communed with eternity beyond. A few fit inhabitants she called to share the glad communion of her peace, the breath of the summit were their natural home. The strong king sages from their labor done, freed from the warrior tension of their task, came to her serene sessions in these wilds. The strife was over, the respite lay in front. Happy they lived with birds and beast and flowers, and sunlight and the rustle of the leaves, and heard the wild winds wandering in the night. Mused with the stars in their mute constant ranks, and lodged in mornings as in azure tents, and with the glory of the noons were one. Some deeper plunged from life's external clasp, beckoned into a fiery privacy in the soul's unprofaned star-white recess. They sojourned with an ever-living bliss, a voice profound in the ecstasy and the hush. They heard, beheld, and all revealing light, all time made difference they overcame. The world was fibered with their own heartstrings, close drawn to the heart that beats in every breast. They reached the one self in all through boundless love, attuned to silence and to the world rhyme. They loosened the knot of the imprisoning mind. Achieved was the wide, untroubled witness gaze. Unleashed was nature's great spiritual eye. To the height of the heights rose now their daily climb. Truth leaned to them from her supernal realm. Above them blazed eternity's mystic suns. Nameless, the austere ascetics without home, abandoning speech and motion and desire, aloof from creatures, set absorbed, alone, immaculate in tranquil heights of self, on concentration's luminous voiceless peaks. World-naked hermits with their matted hair, immobile as the passionless great hills, around them groped like thoughts of some vast mood, awaiting the infinite's behest to end. The seers attuned to the universal will, content in him who smiles behind earth's forms, abode ungrieved by the insistent days. About them like green trees girdling a hill, young grave disciples fashioned by their touch, trained to the simple act and conscious word, greatened within and grew to meet their heights, far wandering seekers on the eternal's path, brought to these quiet founts their spirits' thirst, and spent the treasure of a silent hour, bathed in the purity of a mild gaze, that uninsistent ruled them from its peace, and by its influence found the ways of calm. The infants of the monarchy of the worlds, the heroic leaders of a coming time, king children nurtured in that spacious air, like lions gambling in the sky and sun, received half-consciously their godlike stamp, formed in the type of the high thoughts they sang. They leaned the wide magnificence of mood that makes us comrades of the cosmic urge. No longer chained to their small separate selves, plastic and firm beneath the eternal hand, met nature with a bold and friendly clasp, and served in her the power that shapes her works, one soul to all and free from narrowing bonds, large like a continent of warm sunshine, in wide equality's impartial joy. These sages breathed for God's delight in things, for God's delight in things. assisting the slow entries of gods, sowing in young minds immortal touch they lived, taught the great truth to which man's race must rise, or opened the gates of freedom to a few, imparting to our struggling world the light. Healing love and light. They breathe like spirits from time's dull yoke released, comrades and vessels of the cosmic force, using a natural mastery like the sun's. S-U-N-S. Their speech, their silence was a help to earth. A magic happiness flowed from their touch. Oneness was sovereign in that sylvan peace, S-Y-L-V-A-N peace. The wild beast joined in friendship with its prey, persuading the hatred and the strife to cease. The love that flows from one mother's breast, healed with their hearts the hard and wounded world. That's what we need. Others escaped from the confines of thought to where mind motionless sleeps, waiting light's birth, and came back quivering with a nameless force, drunk with the wine of lightning in their cells. Intuitive knowledge leaped into speech, seized, vibrant, kindling with the inspired word, hearing the subtle voice that clothes the heavens, carrying the splendor that has lit the suns. They sang infinity's names and deathless powers and meters that reflect the moving worlds, sights, sound waves breaking from the soul's great deeps, some lost to the person and hid strip of thought, in a motionless ocean of impersonal power, set mighty visioned with the infinite's light. Or comrades of the everlasting will surveyed the plan of past and future time. Some winged like birds out of the cosmic sea and vanished into a bright and featureless vast. Some silent watched the universal dance or helped the world by world indifference. Some watched no more, merged in a lonely self, absorbed in the trance from which no soul returns. The occult world lines forever closed, the chains of birth and person cast away. Some uncompanioned reached the ineffable. Stop for a quick sip of water. Okay. Continuing on, line 259. As floats a sunbeam through a shady place, the golden virgin in her carven cart. Take a moment to accept the blessings that the universe is sending my way. With an open heart, open hands, open mind, love and light. I'm ready for the blessings that the universe is giving me, that they have ready for me waiting in Oregon. I know that place is going to do great things for me. My self-esteem, my just whole sense of being. Houston is not doing it for me, so I have asked the universe to give me something new, and I accept all the blessings that are coming. In advance, I accept every single huge blessing that is about to drop into my life. One door closes, another opens. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. Victory to the divine light, healing love and light. All one. Todos somos uno. Muy bien. As floats a sunbeam through a shady place, the golden virgin in her carven car came gliding among meditation seats, often in twilight mid-returning troops of cattle thickening with their dust the shades. When the loud day had slipped below the verge, arriving in a peaceful hermit grove, she rested, drawing round like a cloak, in spirit of patient muse and potent prayer, or near to a lion river's tawny mane, and trees that worshipped on a praying shore, a doomed and templed air's serene repose, beckoned to her hurrying wheels to stay their speed. In its solemnity of a space that seemed a mind remembering ancient silences, were to the heart great bygone voices called, and the large liberty of brooding seers had left the long impress of their souls seen. Awaken, candid dawn or darkness moon, to the still touch inclined, the daughter of flame, the daughter of flame. Drank in hushed splendor between tranquil lids, and felt the kinship of eternal calm. But morn broke in reminding her of her quest, and from low rustic couch or mat she rose, and went impelled on her unfinished way, and followed the fateful orbit of her life, like a desire that questioned silent gods, that passes starlike to some bright beyond. Thence to great solitary tracts she came, where man was a passer-by towards human scenes, or soul in nature's vastness strove to live, and called for help to ensouled invisible powers, overwhelmed by the immensity of his world, and unaware of his own infinity. The earth multiplied to her a changing brow, and called her with a far and nameless voice. The mountains in her anchorite solitude, the forest with her multitudinous chant, disclosed to her the massed divinity's doors. On dreaming plains and indolent expanse, the deathbed of a pale, enchanted Eve, under the glamour of a sunken sky, impassive she lays, at, as at an age's end, or crossed an eager pack of huddled hills, lifting their heads to hunt a lair-like sky, or traveled in a strange and empty land, where desolate summits camped in a weird heaven, mute sentinels beneath a drifting moon, or wandered in some lone, tremendous wood, ringing forever with the cricket's cry, or followed a long, glistening serpent road through fields and pastures lapped in moveless light, or reached the wild beauty of a desert space, where never plough was driven nor herd had grazed, and slumbered upon striped and thirsty sands amid the savage wild beast night appeal. Still unaccompanied was the fateful quest. Still she found not one predestined face for which she sought amid the sons of men. A grandiose silence wrapped in regal day. In a grandiose silence wrapped the regal day. The months had fed the passions of the sun, S-U-N, and now his burning breath assailed the soil. The tiger heats prowled through the fainting earth. All was licked up by a lolling tongue. The spring winds failed, the sky was set like bronze. End of Canto 4, end of Book 4. Next, we'll start Book 5, the Book of Love. I love you all. Sending everyone emerald green and gold plasma diamond energy, healing plasma light for all parties involved. We're all one. Victory to the light. Todos somos uno. Muy bien. Be the change that you want to see in the world today. And I hope you're all feeling excited with me. I'm excited. Like my move to Oregon, this is big for me, because Houston, I have nothing here that really calls to my soul. I'm following my soul, and in doing so, I'm having to leave behind my sweet, precious guardian angel. I don't know if you can see her down there sleeping, Miss Piggy. She's everything to me. She's everything to me. She's everything to me, but I'm having to leave her behind with a good friend who has another dog. She'll be safe. She'll have a good home. I'm having to leave her behind while I go to Oregon by myself to get settled in, find a place, a job. And then, once I have a safe home for my baby girl, my guardian angel, at that time will my good friend drive up to this safe home with my guardian angel and deliver her to me. But until then, it's going to be hard. But I want to do this. This is my dream. I desire this. I will not fail. So I'm going to take time to chronicle this adventure as well with the reading of this book, SAVITRI. We start next with the Book of Love. I'll be back soon. Just gonna grab a bite to eat. Thank you all for joining me. Healing, love, and light, all one. Hit the like and subscribe button, please.